Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Mr. Vijay Setia. He's former president at AIREA. Mr. Setia, hi, good to have you. And this is clearly on the latest notification that we saw yesterday night from the government on ban of non-basmati exports. How are you reading it? I mean, of course, basmati is untouched and that is the major export as well. But non-basmati numbers continuing to be restricted. What does it mean for the Indian market prices and availability?
You see, I fully disagree with this thing. I was a member of doubling the income of farmers. So this decision will affect the income of farmers, number one. Consumers are equally important, but we must understand in last few months, if you see, government was giving rice to 80 crore people free of cost after COVID and within the COVID period. This was a great gesture from the government. And now suddenly government wants to stop that. So the rice which was getting diverted into the market, which was freely given to the people, was coming into the mainstream of in the shape of exports or domestic sales. When the MSP was 20, how come rice was like 22, 23? And government restriction of free.
Mr. Setia, I will try and come back to you again. Your audio is not very clear, but I do get your point that until now, under that free distribution of grains, we were giving wheat and rice in a big quantity as well, because wheat clearly was a bigger concern in the previous year as well. But when you look at the rice prices itself, they are trading at a 7-week highs in the international markets. And this notification clearly hasn't been an overnight surprise, because this has been in talks for some time. As we have seen the Indian rice prices, the wholesale numbers, that is gained up by 8%. The retail prices are up by nearly 15% in this year as well. So, Mr. Setia, I get your point when you say that it isn't such a great news for farmers and you can't keep thinking about the consumers all the time. But would you say that it is about government ensuring that they have enough stock? This also is election year. There's an El Nino year as well coming on.
You see, these policies were rejected. In the UPA 2 first session, same government NDA walked out. These are not correct policies. So this is to be looked into by the PMO. These policies are not required. Once you change the policy of free distribution, naturally market correction has come. That rice which was getting sold at 22, 23, that became at 28. Now the lobbies which were exporting that rice, they find it difficult to export. So they wanted this. I think this is an influenced decision. Some companies will get their LCs cancelled, and some have got new LCs, and they will export. So this is not, in last 7 days, a lot of LCs are open.
Mr. Setia, what kind of an impact on prices do you see then going forward?
You see, the concern is the next crop, okay? AIREA, if it is 5% less, then you can see one thing. It is always swing in the sowing, 5% this way or that way. And we always get a record crop. So this is going, I won't say we are going to have a bad crop. Rains somewhere deficient, somewhere sufficient. Floods are also there, but ultimately the seeds, the farmers proactive. The total activity will come with a very good crop, and government should restrain and restrict policy in a other way. When you put 20% duty, that is incorrect. You make fixed amount, 200 or 100. If you are making a tax, people will start under invoicing. What is the use of those policies where people can play, then officers will come, and everything which is not required, we are doing all those things? That is nonsense. I think policies should be like Americans do. When they export their almonds, they have a fixed duty. Right. We want that. It is not on the value, that is fixed. That means export will be at a right price. So if exports were still going with the 20% duty, that means Indian rice was selling at a very low price. So correction means you take other type of decisions. Blanket ban will harm Indian exports. The credibility of Indian exports and the other country will be benefited. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Manisha and Mr. Setia, thank you for joining in and telling us all things about rice. Just before we wrap up on this edition of Halftime Report, keep an eye out on Glenmark. The numbers have come in. The net profit is much lower than street anticipation. It's at 135 crores. The street was working with a number over 200 crores, but that could perhaps be on account of lower other income. The other income of the company has come in at 18 crores versus 95 crores at the same time last year. Revenues have grown sharply. We've seen a near 20% growth in their top line, 578 crores. This compares with 489 crores. So important to see how the street reacts to that lack of other income coming in this quarter, and as a result of which the stock still holding up in the green. And that's Glenmark Life. We'll take a short break, come back and get you business lunch.